Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning into the AFE Factory. Happy New Year as well. And I just wanted to do an initial chat on what my plans were for this coming year. So, I restarted my YouTube channel last year, um, and I posted a few bits, but last year's modelling was very chaotic. I sort of jumped around backwards and forwards between builds, and it was often that it didn't work out well for doing videos for YouTube. So this year I've still got bits that need finishing off from last year, but I won't be posting on them. That's just something that I shall be doing to put onto the other social media outlets. But I will be focusing on just two projects that I'm going to be doing this year, and doing a much more step by step build, so that you'll be able to, if you're interested, you'll be able to follow along and see what I'm doing. The other thing I will be doing is making these videos a lot shorter. Uh, Having looked at the sort of analytics of Facebook and that, it seems that if I'm doing videos that are over 10 minutes, and sometimes even over 5 minutes, people lose interest in them and aren't watching them all the way through, which, it's if it's not going to be watched, there's not a lot of point in me doing it. So also this year we'll be seeing, hopefully, more reviews, more videos of a shorter duration. So with that said, let's have a look at what the first project is going to be. So, project number one is going to be a kit bashed mouse, this one in particular, this version 1. And having done a bit of research on these mice, I've discovered that the suspension layout that they settled with finally, and that would have come into fruition from hull number 7, was that the suspension assemblies would be secured to the inside the hull, but they would no longer be connected to this outer the inner face of this outer armor. They worked it out, and it wasn't necessary. So it gave me not the idea that maybe we could cut some of this armor away across those lines there. And my reason for doing so, and you might be thinking I'm going a bit mad, is firstly, it's a shame. I've always felt it was a shame that all this lovely running gear and tracks and etc. are all hidden away beneath this big slab of armor that you have on the side here. And also, the model that I'm going to build will be one that's done for weight saving, to obviously make the hull more usable. Again, from reading about these vehicles, although it was a tremendous size and a tremendous weight, they were quite nice and easy to drive because of the Porsche's electric system. So they weren't, they didn't weigh so much that they were a complete write-off. Although obviously weight was a big limitation for transport, bridges, etc., and obviously just working under its own power. So my idea is cut this away and then put some bar armor across there as a weight saving process, but to replace some of the defensive mechanism that I've removed by removing this armor here where my finger is. The other thing was, which is why I bought this version 1 and not the version 2, was that I'm thinking it's going to be either a tank that's been returned to the factory because it was damaged, and the hull was scrapped. The turret was scrap, but the hull was okay, and it was gonna. So they were gonna do this the work that I'm going to do to get it back into the field quickly. Or another version I was thinking of was the fact that it was um, an abandoned hull that the Germans were trying to repurpose and get back into the fighting as best as possible. So, secondly, as well as the work on the armor or removing the armor, that's a weight saving. Um, I also started to think about whether it would be better for that reason to not have the 55-ton turret back on there and build it with a suitable weapon, uh, offensive weapon, and without adding all the weight of the armor. That's what I'm trying to say. So I've got one of these, which essentially is what was on there as the main weapon anyway. The 12.8 centimeter L55 um, weapon, and I'm going to mount this onto the hull of the mouse with. And I'm still toying with ideas at the moment, so it might just be a fixed um, casement in the form of something like a Nashorn, that style of weapon. Um, Ideally, it would be better to have a fully armored um, turret or casemate, but as we know with the Germans, they would put anything pretty much on anything, and I can envisage in a different universe a unused or hull being got back into the fighting, got back into the war by adding this weapon on. Um, it would still be a formidable piece of equipment. It would be better off road, better fuel economy. I think these did again. I'm not 100%, but I think these did 30 liters of fuel per kilometer. So yeah, they weren't very easy to work with and to run and all the other bits. So yeah, so remove the cut away some weight from the hull, cut away a lot of weight from the turret. Still have an armored fighting compartment there, but not in the scale of thickness of armor that the turret would have been. Um, and I think it's. I mean, obviously, some people are going to be, oh yeah, and other people are not going to be able to wrap their heads around it. They won't be able to see the point. I quite like doing these. Well, I do like doing these things, even if they don't make a lot of sense. I get a lot of satisfaction out of building them. I always think they're a bit of fun, um, and hopefully that's what that'll be. I've bought a load of styrene sheets and various different. We've got rods there, and yeah, styrene strips of various sizes and thicknesses, and I have this. This shall fit in. Yeah, this rust set as well. Um, Bought this again as I was leaning towards with the mouse hull that it was going to be some sort of an abandoned hull, whether it was abandoned at the factory, it was abandoned, the tank was knocked out and it was abandoned and then recovered, um, that they were the put into action with very little time spent on painting them, if any, and so they were going out and just open to the elements and just rusting anyway. So what I wanted to do was do a rusty um, hull. It'll be a good test. I've done a few things with rust, but this will be slightly different because it'll be quite big on this hull. And yeah, then on top of that, the paint scheme, which is going to be very um, hit and miss. Let's say it's going to be, I'm thinking, some sort of winter camo, so maybe some big white blocks, um, not very well sprayed. Lots of bits, not a good coverage. Uh, so that's what's going around in my mind at the moment. So yeah, that is project one, and that will be starting fairly soon. Maybe not this month, but maybe into next month, because as I say, I still have stuff that I've got to finish off. Um, that are just it's just in my way, and you know I don't want to leave it hanging about. I want to see these models finished. The second project, which will then be coming at some point later down the road, is at present too big in its box to get in front of my screen here. So what I shall do is I shall just tack a photograph of it at the end of this video, just so you can see. I've had the model about a year. It's something that I've always wanted to build, um, and again, another vehicle where you've got a heavily armored hull. In this case, a Tiger 2 with a large, thinly armored casemate or fighting compartment on the top, and a large caliber weapon. So again, they're not too dissimilar. These two projects, the mouse and the other vehicle, they both sort of come from the same sort of mindset, really. So anyway, enough said about that. As I can see, my video has surpassed 10 minutes, and yeah, I'll post a picture of what's going to be the second project. Thanks a lot for everyone that tunes in and likes the videos. It's much appreciated. Hopefully, I shall be better at this coming year, and you'll get a more steadily uh, flow of reports onto what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And yeah, we'll go from there. So, thanks a lot. Take care, and I shall be catching up with you soon.